Quick question. Is more pressure good or bad? Is it helpful or hurtful? Every seasoned coach, any leader with any kind of experience will know the answer to this, and the answer is it depends. So it depends on the individual, it depends on the complexity of the task, and that's what we'll discuss today. We're gonna imagine someone doing a deadlift in a powerlifting meet. So a sort of a simple, what they call gross motor task. The objective is clear. The movement pattern is fairly straightforward and clear. There's a minimal level of fine coordination required to do this. This kind of task can tolerate and often benefits from high arousal, higher nervous system activation. Adrenaline, a racing heart, some nervous energy, excitement, walking up to the bar. The activation actually can help recruit more motor units, leading to more raw force applied to the bar, the task. A lifter who's a little amped up for a max attempt shouldn't be fighting their arousal. They should have to, if it goes too far, yeah, you might have to focus, but they are using that activation, that level of nervous system arousal, and it can benefit the task at hand. Different than a complex fine motor unit task. So imagine the power lifter. Now shift over to someone about to shoot a free throw, basketball player, someone trying to shoot a free throw. That's a little more complex. It's kind of a fine motor task, a free throw or a golf putt or some version of that, something very more technical. These tasks require precise coordination, fine muscle control. Often multiple sequential decisions that are happening fast and maybe we're not even conscious of. Hopefully by the time we get to competition, they're almost automatic, but they still are precise. So this kind of task has a much lower ceiling for arousal or activation. You don't want to be too hyped up walking to the free throw line. Okay, that's why you might see people take a breath, take a dribble, relax into a familiar pattern, really steady themselves, and then shoot the ball. So the same nervous energy that would help the deadlift can detract from or sabotage a free throw attempt. If you imagine this, imagine yourself in this position. If you had to go do a max effort deadlift, adrenaline, nervous system, all that kind of stuff spiking. Now put the bar down, shift over, grab a ball and shoot a free throw. The exact same level of arousal, exact same person, can complement or detract from a task. Worth noting. So the coaching principle kind of looks like this. You shouldn't treat arousal as something universal. It's not just good to pump people up. It's not just good all the time to calm people down. It really depends. The pre-performance strategy has to be matched with both the task and the individual. And I can reflect on this, and I do often. Before I had a toolkit or a level of understanding like this, I was always under the assumption that more is better. Hype music. Maybe I drink an energy drink, or I try to get myself fired up before going to compete in a football game or whatever it might be. More was better is what I thought, and I was wrong. So recognizing that is huge. We have to recognize that each individual has a different starting place. So that's an important piece. If someone's already looking anxious or already looking hyped up before they go do a gross motor task, maybe they're good right where they are. We don't need to hype them up anymore because we've talked about the inverted U theory. Going too far past the optimal curve is not going to be a benefit. Maybe they're too calm and do need to be hyped up, but recognizing where the individual is in a given moment, ideally what that individual responds to, that comes from coaching experience and relationships, and then recognizing the complexity of the task at hand. That's what we have to do. Final example is this: football field. Everyone wearing pads, helmet, shoulder pads, crowd cheering, all that kind of stuff. If someone is asked to run down the field on a kickoff, that does not require a ton of complex thinking. They have a starting position, they have a lane, maybe the task is keep the ball carrier in your inside shoulder. That person might benefit from getting a little geeked up and excited before running down the field to try to corral the ball carrier and make a tackle. Whereas someone who looks from someone in the stands looking down this might not be able to tell the difference between two people, but the quarterback then walks onto the field and has to retrieve the play from the coach, call the play to the team, make some adjustments, communicate across his team, snap the ball, read the defense, and then make some decisions based on this mobile, complex environment. Make the right decision, throw the ball. One of those tasks far more complex than the other. What is the person like? Where are they currently? What works for them? And how does that relate to the level of complexity with the task at hand? Not necessarily easy to do, but essential to do when it comes to motivation and supporting athletes.